Transmuting the density grid, the ascendant feminine. Having completed her navigation of the lower density corridors, emotional stagnation and betrayal, the archetypal feminine emerges not just as a survivor, but as an alchemist. By bypassing standard threat response mechanisms, fight, flight, freeze, she has utilized the intense friction of the physical plane to initiate a supreme internal transmutation. This is the process of anchoring high-frequency consciousness into the dense, physical, and emotional grid. Deconstruction of apathy. Rewiring the neural net. The loop systems of emotional paralysis, historically designed to keep consciousness looping in fear, victimhood, or disinterest, have been disrupted. Breaking the paralysis is not an act of force, but of presence. By holding a neutral witness consciousness, the artificial loops of apathy are starved of energy. As a result, a complete reset of the neural and energetic operating frameworks. The body and psyche are no longer running on legacy programs of survival, but are now optimized for high vibrational living and immediate creative action. Shadow reclamation, the integration of timelines. Fragmentation occurs when trauma forces parts of the self to splinter off, trapping consciousness in past parallel timelines or generational karmic loops. The archetypal feminine acts as a containment vessel, utilizing unconditional self-love to call these scattered frequencies home. This is the alchemical wedding of shadow and light. As a result, a reintegration of fragmented aspects across multiple parallel timelines and ancestral networks. She is now whole, commanding a vast, unified energetic field rather than a leaking, fractured one. Frequency realignment, termination of debt. The density grid is maintained by karmic feedback loops, cycles of debt, betrayal, and scarcity that lock humanity into linear, repetitive suffering. By rising above the vibrational frequency of the debt, she renders the karmic contract null and void. She acknowledges the lesson without accepting the energetic cost. As a result, formal termination of low vibrational karmic feedback loops. By neutralizing the energetic debt of past cycles, she steps out of the eye for an eye karmic paradigm and into the I am the creator paradigm. The new ground state. She is no longer reacting to the grid, she is recoding it. The friction of the world is now used as fuel for immediate, effortless manifestation, transforming the lower density reality into a crystalline structure of her own design. Magnetic integration of the binary counterpart. System overhaul, total emotional recalibration. Prior to structural integration, the primary entity underwent a comprehensive system purge. This phase required terminating all low-efficiency behavioral loops, codependent processing cycles, and erratic emotional frequencies. By hard resetting her internal operating system, she successfully insulated her core identity from external turbulence. This total emotional recalibration closed old vulnerability loops. It redirected her entire operational output away from erratic searching and focused it strictly into a highly calibrated, high-frequency partnership model. Resonant attraction, the magnetic baseline. Traditional relational dynamics often rely on chasing energy, a high-expenditure, low-yield operational mode driven by scarcity logic. This protocol permanently decommissions that behavior. The feminine ceased the active expenditure of seeking, chasing, or forcing external validation. She established an unshakable magnetic baseline rooted in self-containment and absolute energetic autonomy. This passive but highly concentrated field operates via resonance mechanics, pulling the optimal binary counterpart directly into geometric alignment without manual intervention. Intentional devotion, infrastructure conduction. Once alignment is achieved, the partnership transitions from a passive attraction state to an active engineering state. Devotion is treated not as a passive feeling, but as a deliberate conduction of resource streams. The feminine maintains continuous, deliberate streams of high vibrational, non-conditional energy. By stripping away transactional expectations, conditional logic, she prevents friction and impedance within the connection. This clean energy stream feeds directly into the foundational framework of the union, steadily building a durable, resilient energetic infrastructure. Co-evolutionary matrix, the dual system network. The final stage establishes a specialized, self-sustaining ecosystem. The union ceases to be a simple emotional agreement and upgrades into a highly functional dual system network. The network is engineered so that an upgrade in one counterpart instantly triggers a corresponding optimization in the other. This continuously applies constructive pressure to accelerate consciousness expansion, ego dissolution, and deeper intuitive alignment. Spiritual evolution is anchored directly into the physical plane, driving exponential growth in tangible resources, structural stability, and real-world execution. Structural manifestation of joy and harmony. The alignment of these dual nodes triggered a massive download of external harmony and physical plane celebration, anchoring high-frequency templates into the bedrock of daily life. Macro milestones, tangible reality engineering. Success is no longer abstract, it has materialized into undeniable physical evidence. This includes the signing of binding agreements, the completion of major projects, and the physical gathering of communities. The validation of collective efforts is formalized, moving from hidden potential to recognized, public entities. This fosters a sense of tribe, a secure, aligned group operating with shared purpose. The internal harmony manifests externally as synergistic partnerships, where disparate elements merge seamlessly into a supportive, interconnected network. Sovereign safety, the foundation of peace. Ancient, fear-based survival mechanisms, anxiety feedback loops, are dismantled. In their place, a new, resilient foundation of absolute, undeniable safety is established. This safety is not dependent on external circumstances. It is an internal substrate, a foundational state of being that remains calm regardless of shifting events. Daily operations and interactions are conducted without the drain of defensive posturing, allowing energy to be directed toward creation rather than protection. Luminous radiation, environmental restructuring. The internal state of joy is so dense that it radiates outwardly as a tangible frequency, luminous radiation. This is not just a feeling, but a potent, intentional energy emission. This radiation acts as a resonant template, actively altering the composition of the local environment. It brings chaotic or dense areas into alignment with the higher, harmonious frequency. Surrounding life forms are influenced by this field, experiencing a spontaneous lowering of stress and an elevation of mood, effectively upgrading the atmosphere for everyone within the radius. Concrete anchoring of generational capital, the materialization phase. This final phase represents the critical transition from theoretical wealth, spiritual, energetic data, to practical, tangible reality. It is the phase where the union ceases to be merely a cooperative partnership and becomes a structured, self-sustaining financial institution for the bloodline. Fiscal optimization, unified energetic ventures. The union moves beyond joint bank accounts into high-level, cooperative business ventures. These are not merely for profit, but are aligned with the unified, elevated frequency, ensuring that the income generated is clean, intentional, and sustainable. Focus shifts toward acquiring income-generating assets, real estate, equity, intellectual property, that act as a store of value. These are held within a unified structure, optimizing tax liability and protecting assets from litigation or dissolution. By operating under a shared, high-frequency vision, financial decisions are made with absolute clarity, bypassing the emotional volatility that often disrupts wealth building. Scarcity system erasure, eradicating ancestral poverty files. This involves a conscious, systematic, and energetic clearing of poverty consciousness, beliefs, behaviors, and fears inherited from previous generations, e.g., there is never enough, wealth is selfish, struggle is necessary. The union breaks the pattern of systemic, inherited lack, creating a new, permanent paradigm of abundance. The focus is on replacing fear-based financial habits, hoarding or scarcity spending, with flow-based, stewardship-driven habits. Legacy grid construction, institutionalizing wealth. The construction of a diversified portfolio, The grid that acts as a fortress for the bloodline. This is designed for durability across generations, not for short-term gains. Utilizing legal structures, trusts, foundations, corporations, to insulate assets from potential lawsuits, personal liabilities, and inflationary pressures. The capital is designed to educate and empower the next generation. This includes establishing educational trusts, seed capital for future entrepreneurs within the family, and resources to maintain the physical, spiritual, and financial integrity of the legacy. Concrete anchoring is the final, tangible proof of spiritual evolution. It transforms abstract, elevated consciousness into a secure, enduring, and flowing physical legacy, ensuring the bloodline operates from a state of total abundance and freedom.